If you hear one weird noise on a submarine, it's probably nothing. But if you hear three distinct warnings at the same time, you're in immediate freaking danger. And right now we're seeing three massive signals that the system is fracturing. JD Vance is at open war with the media.
The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace.
A sitting governor is talking like a rebel leader against the feds.
And it's clear, look, I don't think any governor in history has had to fight a war against the federal government.
And Trump is fighting his own party just to execute his military strategy in Venezuela. Individually, these look like politics. Together, they are systemic failure. Let me show you the pattern no one else is talking about. Smash the like and subscribe button, and let's dive right in.
Dive. When I was actually walking out here, somebody sent me a photo of a CNN headline about what happened in Minneapolis. And this is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally, because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day.
This is all about partisan politics. One side says X, one side says Y. I'm going to show you a very big podcaster over on the left. His name is David Pakman. I want you to see how he delivers this. And we've already seen all the footage. We've seen all the imagery. You've probably not seen this, but look at this. This is an overhead image.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the car.
Oh my gosh, just look at it.
The car is not perfect.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah, well...
What the heck is that?
Do you see where the officer is standing in front of the car? All right, then. There's your answer.
Donald Trump's ICE agents appear to have murdered a woman, a 37-year-old American citizen. This is a story unlike any I have ever covered on the show, and it is one of the most disturbing stories, certainly of Trump's second term, never mind of the entire time that I have been doing this, and we deserve to describe it accurately. Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old U.S. citizen, a mother, a writer, was shot and killed by an ICE agent during a massive federal immigration operation in Minneapolis. The shooting was caught on video, multiple angles, clear footage.
Notice he doesn't show the multiple angles or the clear footage or the footage of the officer in front of the vehicle.
She was just driving away after being given conflicting information about what she should be doing. ICE agents surrounded her car. They gave conflicting orders. One agent said drive away. Another said get out of the car. As she tried to maneuver away from the agents, an ICE officer fires 3 shots through the window. She drives a short distance, crashes, and dies in the hospital.
Notice he says through the window, not through the windshield. It's all about painting the picture, Bob Ross style. And David Pakman's very good at it. He's got a very large audience, about 3.5, almost 4 million, I would say 4.5 million people, depending on his various platforms. So it's all about delivery. If you get something really nice in the mail and it comes in a horrible package, you're not as apt to like it when it's delivered. But whenever it's packaged up really nice with a bow and a shining "Let's Hate Trump" tag on it, then basically Donald Trump is the ICE agent. That's how this is delivered. Donald Trump was standing in front of the vehicle. He is the one that the Democrat Party would like you to recognize as putting rounds through the windshield, not through the window. That is framing. The way you frame it delivers the message.
What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile? What that headline leaves out is that that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States of America. What that headline leaves out is that that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job. If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques.
JD Vance goes on to lay out the blame, and the blame is on paid actors, paid agitators that travel all over the United States. And this is a very profitable business, almost as profitable as it is for some of the, let's call, black-pilled, suddenly MAGA commentators and creators on YouTube. That's just the way it is right now. It is popular. Go back and check their oldest videos and see what they were making stuff about. See if they were talking about the weather. See if they were talking about other things like that. I used to do motorcycle content. I made one video about how woke Harley Davidson went, and it pivoted my entire channel. So there are good channels that are doing that, but there are others that are just chasing the dime, and they're chasing the dollar. And that's what these paid agitators are doing. They are paid to go across the country and agitate law enforcement.
I've not used inflammatory terms of what happened. I've not used inflammatory terms of what happened.
You see this? This is Governor Tim Walz. I've not used inflammatory language. No. Well, Tim, unlike your political career, the internet lives forever.
And it's clear, look, I don't think any governor in history has had to fight a war against the federal government every single day. Well, I said this yesterday, we've never been at war with our federal government.
No governors have ever had to fight the federal government. He says here, war with the federal government. The rhetoric is rising. The temperature is climbing. It is heating up. And now we know why these ICE agents were targeted. There's hotels in Minneapolis and Minnesota that won't allow federal agents to stay there. Now, they've had their signs torn down by Hilton, but that's still part of the problem. You cannot make criminals out of law enforcement unless you go along with this side of the aisle, this type of game. It's crazy. It's chaotic. Now, let's get to the third part of this triad, this systemic failure, this total collapse in what's happening in America right now.
It's a test vote on a resolution restricting war powers in Venezuela. 5 Republicans joined all Democrats voting yes. This, of course, comes days after the United States arrested Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. Meanwhile, his administration says the U.S. will take control of selling Venezuela's oil as President Trump is promising to rebuild that country. They've already put it in play. In an interview with the New York Times yesterday, the president said, quote, "We're getting oil prices down and we're going to be giving money to Venezuela, which they desperately need."
The Democrats call the president greedy, but in what sense has any of this enriched him or enriched the administration? It's enriched the American people, which is what you want out of an American president, somebody who's thinking to themselves, how do I serve the American people's best interest?
So here you've got the tweet from President Trump calling out the 5 Republican senators that voted against him, against the Republican Party, to limit his powers in Venezuela. And you've got some of the same old names: Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, Todd Young. But then you have one that's in there that is really concerning to me, and that is Josh Hawley. Because I actually knocked on doors for Josh Hawley and thought he was Make America Great Again. I thought he was America First. I thought he was MAGA. But when you start voting for these people, then you get this response. Donald Trump says they should never be elected to office again. And I'm kind of on the same page with this. You cannot maintain control. You cannot maintain any semblance of unity when you have 5 Republicans Now, 4 of them we knew were rhinos. But Josh Hawley, what the hell are you doing, man? When you vote like a Democrat, you smell like a Democrat. You might as well be a Democrat. And that's what we're seeing right now. The news media is against the administration. Obviously, the Democrat Party is against the administration. But when you have rhinos like Josh Hawley, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, and now a handful of others actively working against the president and his agenda, which the last time I checked, the majority of America put our votes behind his agenda. He is doing the work for us. This is systemic failure from the top down to the bottom. And I would put right at the bottom the news media, because what we're seeing is just a dynamic shift in the way that they report, the way that they control the messaging, and more importantly, how they will, I would say, editorially change some things or leave some things out. Thanks for watching. Smash a like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.
You know what? I guess I will be that asshole. Y'all can go ahead and unclutch those pearls, because you are not the victims and you are definitely not innocent in this.
No, but man, I never felt so alive.
For months, y'all have been out here objectifying, brutalizing, and degrading these ICE agents. You've been calling them Nazis. You've been calling them animals. You've been calling them murderers. Y'all are the ones that have been out here saying that these people need to lose their lives, that violence against them is justified. You didn't discourage it. You didn't try to walk it back. You amplified it. Y'all have been the ones out here indoctrinating all these people, telling them that these men don't deserve to breathe. So y'all don't get to sit there and act surprised when chaos actually shows up. When a woman uses her vehicle as a weapon, and then a man reacts out of fear that you created, because for months, all he's heard is people like him should be hunted down and killed. Now all of y'all are out here acting like, oh my God, how could have this happened? Hear me clearly when I say this. You just didn't fall out of the sky. This just didn't come out of nowhere. This is what cause and effect looks like. You don't get to sit out here and scream death to them for months, then cry victim when somebody believes you. You don't get to sit here and weaponize mobs, excuse violence, and reward extremists, and wash your hands when reality punches back. Y'all have been the ones out here teaching these people that violence is acceptable. You've been the ones that normalize it. You've been the ones that have been cheering it on. And now that it's ugly, now that it's undeniable, you want sympathy? Hell no. You don't get to light the match and pour the gasoline and dance around the fire and then cry when the flames spread. This is your rhetoric, and this is your responsibility. And that woman's blood is on y'all's hands.
Amen. Hallelujah. And boom shakalaka.